Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live After TLC. I am Tonya Rodgers here with 14 Fitzpatrick as usual, and we have another guest. His name is Crazy Chris 576. Now, I named the episode, I thought your name was Peter because of the Booker T. But yeah, I just want everybody to make sure you mark out over that because I'm a Shooter T fan. But everybody say hello to everyone watching and all that good jazz.
Hi, everybody.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you for having me on again, Tanya. And we are going to have a really nice show today. I don't want to really spoil anything, but if you heard what was going on in the pre-show, Fred, before we went on air, well, these two are kind of in a foul mood over the main event.
I mean, let's be
Not a foul.
Let's be honest, though. The last few times I've been on Speaks, when have I not been in a foul mood about a main event? But yeah, this is going to be a good show. It's going to be a good one.
Let us start. I want to talk about the pre-show just a little bit. The pre-show was a lot better because I'm sorry, Lita was not there, and they had Peter Rosenberg, which inspired my the title because he had on the Nikki Bella socks and Booker T cracked on him about being a market. But he's like, I'm familiar with him. He's a big fan. He's a big wrestling fan. So he seemed informed. His opinions were great, you know. So if they could keep him on the pre-show, I would love that. Let's do that for Raw as well. I don't know what you're going to do with Lita, but keep her off the pre-show. Okay.
And keep Lawler off the pre-show, too, if I may.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Absolutely. Like, Lawler was only good. The only goodness he's had since, like, maybe 2011 is when he was opposite Mauro Ranallo. That lasted for, like, you know, until the brand split. I think they booted him. No, I think he got arrested or something for domestic violence, and they booted him off of commentary after that. So, let's. Any you guys want to say anything about the pre-show? Not the pre-show match, but just the pre-show.
I didn't see the pre-show.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of it. I got in late, like basically just as the match itself was starting, so I only saw the stuff after the match. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Tanya. Having no Lita, no Lawler, definitely improved things. Booker's gonna book her, but I mean he's at least sometimes entertaining. Lita and Lawler are just dead air time for me. I can't stand either one of them. So, yeah. Keep bringing back Peter Rosenberg, please. He's a fresh face, and I like having somebody who's not, you know, WWE Hall of Famer XYZ. You know, we don't need it. We don't need it.
No.
I mean, that definitely sounds like a step up from Lita and the Burger Fool. So, you know, let's see if this experiment turns out. You know, sounds like from what you two saw that there was a good step up from the usual pre-show banter.
I mean, anything is an improvement over Jerry the King misogynist, but you know, I'll take this especially because you know Peter Rosenberg is intelligent and offers good opinions.
Right. And okay, well, let's get to the pre-show match, which saw it was just a 10-man tag team match just to put guys out there to warm the crowd up. So it was American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and Apollo Crews, which good to see Apollo Crews is still employed by the WWE. I was wondering for a minute. And they took on the Ascension, the Vaudevillians, and Kurt Hawkins. It was a fun little, cluster pluck of a match. What do you guys think about it? Fizzy, you can go ahead. Did you watch this match?
I unfortunately did not watch this match. I actually overslept for TLC and missed the first two matches, but I was able to catch them on replay. So I didn't watch the pre-show, but it sounds like it was a good match.
Yeah, it was. It was a Your standard fair 10-man tag. I mean, everybody kind of showed up to get their spots in, but they are actually making the Ascension look halfway decent, which is better than anything else they've had during their time on the main roster. All of the guys on the face side looked great. Vaudevillains are still basically there to take up space. I would have been honestly much happier if they had had the Usos out there, but they needed somebody to take the pin, and Simon Gotch, he's gonna be taking the pin anytime he's out there. So Simon Gotch takes the pin, and I still have no bleeding clue what is going on with Kurt Hawkins. So yeah, good job for the 5 guys on the face side and the Ascension, and the rest of you, thanks for showing up. That's all I can say about those 3, because that's really all they're doing at this point.
I had a joke about Simon Gotch. I said Simon Gotch is going to be eating pins for the remainder of his WWE career. For the rest of it.
Essentially.
What he did. But he's going to be losing a lot.
He lost a shoot fight to Sin Cara, who's apparently the strongest shooter in the WWE at this point.
But so did Sheamus.
Yeah.
Didn't he beat up Sheamus before?
Yeah. I don't even remember that story, like the contents of it. I just know that it happened.
Yeah, so and Sheamus gets beat up by little dudes a lot. So so much for the Irish tough man. But let's get into the proper TLC pay-per-view. And it started out, they weren't playing, they started out right with a title defense. Beauty and the Man Beast took on the Wyatts. And it was a short match. But it saw Bray Wyatt become the tag team champions after Luke Harper. Like, Luke Harper has, like, kind of seemed like he doesn't trust Randy, but he actually sacrificed himself for Randy Orton. And so his team could get the win. So, Chris, what did you think about this match?
Well, first of all, hallelujah. For the first time in 7 years, Wyndham Rotunda is holding gold in WWE. How long overdue is that? For the love of God, this guy is one of the best performers in the company. This is his first actual title reign. My Lord, that is a wonderful thing to hear. But I can't even go too deep into that, because I have to say all the props to Randy Orton. Like I said in the live thread, he has gone over the top, above and beyond, to the greatest possible degree of showing a new side to his character, and it is amazing. This guy has completely altered his appearance and entry into the ring. His in-ring style is moving much more slowly and methodically, looking a hell of a lot more like a predator now, and really showing a very menacing and sinister edge to himself. I love this. I love everything about what Randy is doing during this arc of his story, and I can't say enough good things about it. Randy is showing an amazing side to himself. And that post-match interaction among the 3 members of the Wyatt family, they are teasing something that is going to be amazing between those 3 guys. I mean, there's so many ways that they can go with it. I have never been this excited for a Wyatt family storyline as I am right now, because this can literally go any number of ways. You can have Bray kicking Luke Harper out because Luke is not pulling his weight. You can have Luke turning on Bray and Randy because he feels like he's been pushed aside. You can have Randy eventually turning on Bray and Luke because he is, been playing them all along. There's so many ways that they can go with this, and it is just enthralling to see. I am so excited about this, and this was probably, in terms of storyline now, this is probably my favorite storyline on SmackDown, is this Wyatt family angle, because, like I said, it can go anywhere, and I'm really hoping that they continue to keep it this engaging, because they need to be built back up after a year and a half of just kind of, swinging in the wind.
My goodness, this was a really, really nice match. So you have the storyline implications are that first you have the potential, I hate to say this, breakup of Beauty and the Man Beast of Slater and Rhino, and then you have also the storyline elements with the Wyatt family, as Chris alluded to here. There are so many different ways that you can do this angle, and all of them are really good methods. I think what's going to end up happening is I think possibly Bray is going to get turned on by both Orton and Harper. Because Orton's going to betray Bray. I mean, come on, he's the Viper Randy Orton. He's a snake in the grass. He's betrayed stables before. And Harper might get delusioned enough that he might actually side with the stronger side, which in this case is Orton. Now, what's going to be really interesting is how they handle the injury situation with the Wyatts. As we know, one of the Wyatt family members is actually still on IR at this point, Eric Rowan, and the other one is apparently broken away from the family tree and is beating up Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting that the Wyatts are now at the top of the tag team division on the SmackDown side of WWE. I mean, Alpha seem to be the clear next challengers for the belts, but every tag team on SmackDown right now is really interesting at this point because there's so many ways that they can go about the tag team division now. Possibilities like having a bunch of teams in a triple threat match, like having Alpha and the Usos face against the Wyatts.
Yeah. I mean, the Usos can go any number of ways, too. That's the other thing I really like.
Right.
Continue, Tonya.
I was thinking about that triple threat that you just talked about. That would be great. I got to agree with, hadn't actually thought about both Randy, or like Randy turns on Bray and Luke Harper decides to go with him. I hadn't thought of that one because Luke Harper is kind of like, doesn't seem like he trusts Randy at this point. Like, he's kind of proving it tonight, but like, still, it's Luke Harper. So you always expect him to side with Bray. So that was a possibility I hadn't thought of. Yeah. But it's like, this is the most interesting angle, and I will agree. Randy seems more snake-like to me. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying what's going on. I'm glad, like, they're in the tag team division. That's a good little spot. Yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was kind of short, but there'll be other matches. Anything else anybody wants to say about this before we move on to the next
I really love the spot that they did where Rhino charged into Harper, and Harper sacrificed himself for Randy. I also like, as Chris said, the post-match thing where both Bray and Randy gave Harper the belts to keep it safekeeping.
Yeah.
Also might apply that they might be doing the Freebirds rule on them, and it also might imply that, well, a certain other tag team on Raw might be losing the belts soon.
Well, the thing was most interesting to me about that was if you watch the way that they both handed the belts off to Harper, like, basically, Randy handed the belt to Harper like he's like, okay, you weren't in the match, so you're the pack mule now. You're going to be the one who's, basically looking after the two stars. But Bray still looks to Luke like a brother, still feels that, that camaraderie with him. So I could very easily see this developing into a feud where it goes to Harper breaks away first because he decides he's had enough of being disrespected by Orton and Bray not, holding him back. And then Randy betrays Bray. And then Bray is left all alone because that I think would be the best way to go about it, because that also fulfills my personal desire of seeing Harper get his singles career restarted again. So maybe we'll get that. Who knows?
That's interesting. That is very interesting. There are definitely like so many multiple levels that this story can go. It's very interesting, very intriguing. Now we're gonna go to the next match, which kind of split how people felt about it. It was a no DQ match between Carmella and Nikki Bella. You just say, first of all, yes, Queen Slay. Looks awesome. Like I said, like in the hood, black girls, you know it's going down. If they got their hair pulled back, oh, it's going down. Now, some people thought that the match wasn't violent enough, or Nikki Bella didn't sell her leg. I don't think, like, the limb work that was done was different than, like, targeting a joint. I think she was hitting her thigh, so it kind of seemed like something that, like, you could absorb that pain in your muscle and shake it off, but some people couldn't get over it. That's cool. I just thought that they were at the disadvantage of, on a card with all those matches that were like basically no DQ. You know, they had a chairs match, so maybe they didn't want them to use chairs. They had a table match, so maybe they couldn't use a table. You know, I felt like they were limited in what they could do, and for what it was, I enjoyed the match. So, what did you think about it, Fizzy?
Oh my goodness, I really enjoyed this match. Now, these two matches, the Bray Orton and the Muty and the Man Beast match and the Carmella and Nikki Bella match, are the ones that I saw last because I overslept and missed part of the show, so I was able to catch that in the replay. And this was the match I saw last, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, you have Nikki, who's basically representing the strong style of professional wrestling, the queen of strong style, and she has been constantly getting beaten up by this angry fake Jersey girl, Carmella, who has wanted to make a name for herself off of Nikki Bella. And as Tonya said, Nikki had her hair braided back. She was ready to beat up Carmella. Carmella's got these military camo pants on. It's about to go down, and this no DQ match was really fun. You know, they played it safe. I know people are like, well, they should have gone more extreme with the spots. Do you want both of these people to get injured? Okay, Nikki just got back from a neck injury, and I don't want Carmella getting hurt again after a incident in a match with Eva Marie on House Show in Knoxville, Tennessee last year, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I was really hoping that these two would get through this match safely, and they did. And they also told a really great story of just Carmella being incredibly tenacious and trying to beat up Nikki Bella. You know, she brought out the kendo stick, started whacking her with it, and then Nikki turned the tables on her by spraying her with a fire extinguisher. You do not taunt the twins!
Oh, man.
And I also really like the post-match angle where Carmella basically said, well, the person who attacked you at Survivor Series wasn't me. It was Natalya, which brings the story forward. It continues the progression of stories, as we talked about with the tag division. The women's division is getting a lot of interesting stories now. Is it possible they'll go with the Natalya angle? Will they go in a different direction? We'll see who Nikki's next challenger is at the Royal Rumble, I guess. Chris, what do you think of the match?
Or possibly if they have a women's Royal Rumble in the pay-per-view somewhere, who knows? But I was impressed by what they did with this match. I think more than being compared to other matches on the card, though, I think they also had to consider being compared to the match from 6 days ago between Sasha and Charlotte. So I think that part of why they decided to let this just be minimal weaponry, count out still possible, which really confused me the first time the referee started counting. I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be a no DQ match? And then JBL clarified, and I'm like, okay, I guess, you know, it still doesn't make sense, but I guess if that's the way they want to go with it, okay. But I think for what they did, they both did a great job. Nikki's kick off the barricade, especially, very impressive. And you know, they managed to keep the story going, which makes sense, because if all they had done was just have the match end, then okay, now you have to start new things entirely from scratch for the both of them. Keeping Carmella's little bit of intrigue in there after the match, it makes sense, and I think that eventually coming to the realization that it was Natalya that attacked her will give them a nice way to keep something going until Becky and Alexa have their rematch, and then we can get to a program where Nikki is looking for the title, because I have to assume that that's where they're going eventually. Because
I mean, the first thing that Nikki's got to do is she's got to get past the crazy cat lady.
yeah, but I mean, this is the Queen of Strong Style we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Nikki Sawa gonna Bella hammer her into oblivion. Let me just say, I've become a huge Nikki Bella mark since she started coming since she's come out with this new improved style, and just has been like just fully just marking dudes straight in the face. I'm all on board. I'm all in. Just sign me up. Keep this going. Keep Nikki Bella just straight up blasting people with forearms and kicking people in the head. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see the preening mistress with her twin sister coming out to the ring and playing to the fans. I want to see Nikki Bella coming out and owning fools. Keep it coming. This is great. This is the kind of story. This is the kind of athlete that we needed to see from the get-go. And this is great. This is great stuff.
I believe we have another convert to the Church of Mishua.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
I mean,
one of us.
I've tried to bring this point up to some of my friends who watch wrestling with me, and they're all just like, "No, we can't like Nikki Bella. She's the epitome of what's wrong with the Divas era." And it's like, okay, guys,
Let me tell you.
You keep on being blind to what's going on right in front of you. I'm going to enjoy what I'm seeing. Thank you.
People feel that way because of AJ Lee.
Yeah.
That is why they feel that way. And that really, like that promo she gave, really set the women's division back so badly that they're just now recovering. And that was like, what, almost 3 years ago? She gave that promo. So, like, people need to get over that. Nikki Bella is one of the best female wrestlers to come, and that is my honest to gosh belief. And she came up in an era that's just absolutely sucked for women. Like, they weren't draws. Like, even in the Attitude Era, when they were like boobs and ass first, but they were like still giving characters and stories, and she came up in the era where they were like, oh, okay, you got 5 minutes, and then they get to the curtain and like, oh, it's 3 minutes now. You know what I'm saying? That's the era she came up in. So people who still have that attitude towards Nikki Bella, I just laugh at them, because like I don't even need to know any more of your opinions about anything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, which is supposed to be the final Intercontinental Championship match between Dolph Ziggler and the champion Miz. Now, Chris, you can get us started on this match.
I hate the Miz. I fucking hate the Miz. I just need to get that out of my system.
Really?
Right now. And here everybody's already has started in with, well, that means he's doing his job right because he's a heel. Don't care. I just can't stand this guy and the gimmick that has gone on now for just ever since Maurice came back. I don't even know when it was, but as soon as Maurice came back, this gimmick started of interference in matches, fighting dirty, and just being a general dick. And this just hits me on a very visceral level, because it's basically just reminds me of so many things that I've had to go through dealing with from people in real life who just are just complete and utter dicks about the fact that they have it better than everybody else. And the Miz epitomizes that character perfectly, and I hate him. So naturally, I was not very pleased with the outcome of this match, but I kind of saw that this was where they were going to go, because, I mean, if they are going to say this is the final confrontation, between Miz and Ziggler for the IC title, then you have to have it be the final confrontation. You can't have the little pesky thing of a rematch clause hanging out there for nobody to ever address, because, you know, that's sometimes they want to actually be consistent about that stuff in WWE. But they did put on a hell of a match. That was a great ladder match. And, you know, Ziggler always puts on good ladder matches at TLC. Like they were saying, he's 3-0 in ladder matches at TLC, and all of those ladder matches that I've seen him have at TLC have always been great. The one that he had with Luke Harper 2 years ago especially comes to mind for me, because that was probably my favorite Ziggler match of all time that I've ever seen from him. And this was another great one for him. But you know, they gotta move the story along, and these guys got to find new feuds. So where they go next, I don't know, but I'm really hoping somebody, cough cough, Apollo Crews, cough cough, gives the Miz his comeuppance because he needs it. Somebody needs to give it to him, and also, Daniel Bryan has been a relatively smart GM with decision making. For the love of God, ban Maurice from ringside. Just once. Please. Ban her from ringside. Get her the fuck out of there. Don't let her come down and then be ejected. Ban her from ringside from the outset. For the love of God, please. I'm begging you. Please. Just, okay. I'm done.
Okay, Fizzy, what were your thoughts on the match?
Unlike Chris here, I love The Miz. I think he is one of my favorite success stories of 2016, a man who has revitalized his career after languishing the last couple of years, kind of having an inconsistent... His character is great. The problem was that he didn't have that piece to accentuate this diabolical character. You know, Sandow had a habit of kind of overshadowing The Miz, unfortunately. I mean, Damien Sandow was a good character in his own right, but not the right fit for him being his stunt double. Maurice, his loving wife, his muscle, is just been such a perfect character fit for The Miz. You know, who character knows you better than your wife? And she has been able to assist The Miz in defending his Intercontinental title, although in this case, it wasn't Maurice that ended the match. It was The Miz himself, because he took advantage of the no DQ stipulation of hitting Ziggy in the gonads. My goodness, this man...
The second kick, that was the inner thigh. He kicked him on the inner thigh.
He can't just go for... Come on now. He can't just go for it.
Yeah.
You know.
And Ziggler crumpled down to the mat like a sack of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And The Miz reclaimed his gold again for his, what he said, day 19 of the Reunion Intercontinental Championship Tour. I thought the match was really enjoyable. I've always enjoyed Ziggy in ladder matches, even though I don't like the character. And, you know, how Chris feels about The Miz, I feel about Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, oh my God, this sleazy show-off is coming down to the ring again. My good Lord.
Yeah.
I can't stand him.
I've never been a fan of Ziggler, but like I'm just kind of indifferent towards him. That's the difference there.
I mean, right now I'm indifferent towards Ziggy at this point because so many other people have leapfrogged him since 2014, you know, on the dislike list. So he just is kind of just in the indifferent pile right now. And man, the match was really fun. I don't know why Ziggy was wearing the USA tights though, because like, dude, your opponent is from Ohio, the same state as you. You're not facing against some evil foreigner like Rusev.
I think he just wears that. You know, it's better than his rip-off Shawn Michaels trunks. So
Yeah.
I actually thought of Shawn Michaels with the pants. I thought, like, is he trying to do a Shawn Michaels look again? Because you're not Shawn Michaels, dude.
no.
Even though I don't like Shawn Michaels, I still recognize his talent for screwing up backstage. But, like, I thought the match was enjoyable. I really enjoyed the fact that The Miz retained it. I was actually kind of scared about that one dive that he took. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, so was I. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
scary.
yeah."
There were a few scary moments there. Yeah, I actually, because he cursed, I thought he legitimately hurt himself
Me
when he
too.
fell to the ground. It's like that's either extremely good selling or he literally did hurt himself.
Well, he was carted to the back by his loving wife, so I think he did injure that knee in Money in the Bank a few years ago during the Raw Money in the Bank match, I believe. So it could just be an old injury that may have just flared up. We'll see, on Tuesday how he's feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he may have aggravated his old knee injury.
Yeah.
That's what he gets for going around talking about, I've never been injured. I've never been injured.
Yeah, exactly.
See? There you go. There you go. But, okay, my thoughts on this match were, most ladder matches in WWE just tend to be spots. Like, the main event was a spot fest, a spot monkey fest. Broken Matt Hardy would have had a conniption watching that match, actually. But this match was way more psychology based. There was very little like, hurry up and climb. And then when Ziggler, he had his knee worked over, and then Miz hurts his knee, so they're both like, Miz is hopping up to get up the ladder, and Ziggler's going, because he can run up that ladder real fast, and Ziggler's going slow, and I'm the psychology girl, so if you can give me psychology in a match and have no high spots, I am good. So this was my favorite match of the night, actually. So I love The Miz. I understand why his character would get under people's skin. I absolutely understand that. But I knew him as Mike from the real world. So and the fact that he wanted to be The Miz when he was Mike from the real world, like a 19, 20-year-old punk kid who used to look in the mirror and pretend to be The Rock and Stone Cold. And now he's had a long WWE career, and he's actually spotlight right now, and he's doing so well with it. I'm so proud of him. You have no idea. I am so proud of The Miz. So I greatly enjoyed the match. I can't wait to see who he faces next. They seem to be, when he said to Daniel Bryan, I wish it were you in that ring, I was like, do not tease me. Do not play with my emotions like this. Stop it. Because WWE is not going to clear Daniel Bryan, so stop teasing me. That's all I thought.
How many pencils did Daniel Bryan eat when The Miz won?
Oh my God.
Oh, he hates him.
Yeah.
He was like, he said, you just admitted you don't like me. He was like, I never liked you. I was like, see? And this goes back to when he first came. He was on NXT when it was a game show, and The Miz was his pro, and he told The Miz, it is a joke that you are my pro. I am a way better wrestler than you are.
Yeah, really.
So, yes, it's been 6 years in the making. So it's Daniel Bryan he was on Total Bellas, he was talking about wrestling like a monkey style, where he hardly even takes bumps. If they can have that match at WrestleMania, I'd be like, I would go for it. Don't take any bumps, just roll around. And I would take it. I'm telling you. Just
anything at this point.
Yes, people were
pay it off.
Dolph Ziggler and The Miz is the feud of the year, and I'm like, nope. The Miz and Daniel Bryan is my feud of the year, and they've never touched each other. So, you guys have any more thoughts about this? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I honestly was hoping that during Talking Smack that Daniel Bryan was just gonna haul off and punch him in the face. That would have been I would have just run around my apartment screaming in
That's the next
pure
step,
ecstasy from that. Yeah,
he's gonna if The Miz gets any worse, he's gonna hit him. He when he walked off that one time, he wanted to hit him. When he was like, "You're a coward," he didn't walk off because he's actually a coward. He walked off because he's no longer a wrestler. He cannot hit anybody, and he's trying to toe the company line. But yeah, ooh, that is straight Fire.
Well, I mean, if he hit the Miz, he's going to get beaten up by Miz's wife. And the only person who's going to save him is a very heavily pregnant Brie Bella.
Hey, I mean, she is talking about her comeback after she has the baby. You never know. We might end up seeing Miz and Maurice versus Dan Bryan Brie Bella match one day on pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Don't count it out.
That would be a great way to protect Daniel Bryan, actually, because all he could do is come in there and just like hit his flying knee at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do next now is that Bryan is going to unleash all of his old Dragon's Gate USA fringe on The Miz now, starting with either the guy who has the charisma of a refrigerator, Apollo Crews, or Kalisto.
And I mean, Akira Tozawa has just finally done it at Dragon Gate, so they could bring him in too.
Mhm.
Just have him, give a flying kick to the Miz, say how he likes it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
well, let's move on to the chairs match against Kalisto and Baron Corbin. Very enjoyable. I dug the mess out of this match. I've always been on like the Baron Corbin bandwagon, but I'm kind of like, yeah, he's getting better. He's getting better. He's almost there. He's shaping up to be a fine young superstar. And that match, it didn't even have any business being that good. It's just like a throwaway match, but like I liked it. Like Kalisto worked so well with guys who are way bigger than him, and it's just like big guys. No, there are people like Kalisto needs to be in the cruiserweight division. Nope. I'm getting beat up by big dudes because he is great at that. Like the way he sells, it's like when he gets hit with a move, he's like dead. And it's just like you believe it because he's so tiny. It's like you could pick him up, put him in your little pocket. But he does. Like, and then he had on it was so cute. He had on the little trunks with the little decoration in the front. I was like,
that's actually his old gear from when he was Samurai del Sol back in
really?
the Indies. That's what somebody in the live thread said.
Oh, that's cool then. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the match, Chris?
This was honestly my match of the night. I loved the hell out of this match. And for me to say that about a chairs match is
right.
Absolutely ridiculous because I don't think that I've ever seen a good chairs match ever in WWE until today. This is match of the night and the best chairs match I've ever seen. And we all know the bleak history that has been the history of chairs matches in the WWE. They're just not good. I mean, yeah, okay, chairs as weapons. How many different things can you do with a chair? Well, here's how we test that out. Put a 275-pound monster who doesn't give a damn about anybody he's in the ring with against the 175-pound luchador dynamo who will run circles around you and make your head spin, and just tell them, go nuts. And they did. Holy crap. That drop kick onto the 6 chairs was the best spot that I've ever seen in a chairs match. That was incredible. And then the deep 6 out on the floor. Everything about this match was just spot on. The selling, the psychology of the match. I mean, Baron Corbin coming in, being his cocky, overconfident self that he normally is, and then eventually just getting really enraged by the fact that Kalisto just would not go away. It was perfect. And Kalisto just fighting and fighting and fighting until he had to take End of Days onto a pile of chairs. I thought he was legitimately knocked out comatose because of that, because he just ragdolled over like dead to the world from that. That was intensely powerful. And it was from start to finish an amazing match. And I hope that this is the end of the feud, because it seems like it's the end of the feud based on what happened on Talking Smack, because I don't think that the two of them will be able to top that. I think they need to go their separate ways now and move on to other things. And I think for Kalisto, the best thing to do would be to head to 205 Live. Well, for Baron Corbin, he definitely has elevated himself to being on the level of a main eventer at this point, or at least upper mid-carder. I could actually see him being the next guy to challenge for the IC title, or in maybe in a triple threat of some sort. I don't know. But, yeah, great match, and both of these guys, A-plus performances. Well done.
Okay, Fizzy, what are your thoughts on the chairs match?
This was my second favorite match of the night. The only reason that it's not my favorite match of the night is because of what happened at the end of that match that we're going to get to in a little bit. But
Yeah.
I really, really like this match. I really thought the psychology was fantastic. I really like the fact that, and JBL said it on commentary, it's like he was like, Corbin was like building with Lincoln Logs. I'm like, no, JBL, he's building with Lego. Corbin was stacking the chairs up like Lego.
Clearly taking lessons from Finn Balor.
Yeah. And trying to find the best way to destroy this annoying little flea, Kalisto, who was just such a total rudo in this match. I was going like, who's the heel in this matchup? I mean, I thought it was supposed to be the 6'8" monster, but no, Kalisto's trying to beat him up.
I mean, he had to, though.
Yeah, like, I like that he came out and he went straight for the chairs, and he was like, I'm not playing around. It's like, look who Baron Corbin is.
I mean, like, Corbin was, like, raising his eyebrows at the entrance going, like, okay, he just launched a dozen or so chairs into the ring. What did I get myself into? But like he does, Baron methodically took apart Kalisto's strategy. Kalisto's strategy was to beat him up with a chair in inventive lucha ways. Corbin's strategy was to try and neutralize Kalisto as best he could, because he knew he didn't have the speed advantage, because that's all Kalisto.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Corbin had the strength advantage and the intelligence advantage of knowing how to use the chairs to the best of his ability. You know, I love the end sequence of the match. Corbin didn't just put him down with a chair. He was like, I need to finish this guy off. He did the end. He finished him off with a chair shot as Kalisto was trying to do a lucha move on the set from the second rope. And Corbin grabs him, hits him with a chair, then he grabs him again, and then hits the End of Days on top of a pile of chairs to finish off the match. He does the best tilt-a-whirl spots I have ever seen anybody do. He's been learning from Kane, hasn't he?
Yeah, his counters are really, really good. They're really good.
You know, he's adapted the art of counter wrestling into his routine, and it fits his slower paced style. It's not like Kane, but it's his own individual style, and I'm really interested to see where Corbin goes from here. You know, like Chris said, is he going to challenge for the IC belt? I mean, for Daniel Bryan, this basically kills two birds with one stone. He gets to get his crunch match on The Miz by sending this ginormous monster after him, and it keeps Corbin occupied by giving him something to do to beat up on.
I think Baron Corbin is going to get the Roman Reigns and Royal Rumble 2014 spot. I think he's going to eliminate a lot of people.
Just more bodies to eliminate for that paycheck.
Yep. Anything else on this match before we move on?
I like Chris said, I really enjoyed the fire that Kalisto brought to this match, although it did seem a bit rudo-ish compared to... but then again, that is kind of my dislikement of Kalisto shining a little bit, because, like, the problem with Kalisto is he's not the best talker. Lord, do not give him a light mic ever again. Like when he was on comms that one time on Raw. But his ring performances are really good. And like I said, I'll be interested to see where both guys go from here. Kalisto, maybe he goes to 205 Live to boost them up. Or maybe he stays on SmackDown and becomes the punching bag for the next guy that wants to try to beat him.
We'll see.
Okay, let's move on to the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match, which was a tables match between the champion Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. And I am going to let Fizzy start this one off.
Are you guys ready? Okay. All hail the tiniest of tyrants! I am so adorably happy that Alexa Bliss won the championship.
I knew it. That's why I let you have this one first.
Yep.
All hail the tiny tyrant! She finally won over Becky. Finally won a championship for one of those accursed 4 horsewomen. Sasha kept her from the title. Bayley kept her from the title. Charlotte kept her from the title. Becky Lynch kept her from the title. 2 separate titles, the NXT Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship. She finally won one.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to be like a week of this, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, my goodness. This was such a great match. Psychology driven. Alexa knew that she wasn't I call her the Pixie Hulk. But she didn't have the strength advantage on Becky because Becky had the ability to put her through a table. And she needed to figure out a way to keep from getting put through a table. So it's like a game of chess. She puts a pawn in front of her, Becky counters with a knight. And Becky has the superior wrestling skills. Alexa has the superior smarts. And she illustrated that in every single way. Like the DDT to the table on Becky. The raking of the eyes. The making sure to keep the table away from her so that Becky didn't put her through it. And Becky was also really intelligent in this match. Like, for instance, they tried to do the same spot that they did on the SmackDown Go Home show where Alexa put Becky for a table by thumbing her in the eye. And instead, Becky kicks the table away so that she doesn't have to worry about that spot. And just some really wonderfully done psychology from these two. And just, I love the post-match angle where Becky gets really fed up and angry with the Renee Young clone as she was trying to interview her.
I think that was
That's
Bishop
just
Fuentes.
one
Yes, it was.
And Alexa, I think that actually they tried to do that because Alexa was crying in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
My God, she was in tears. She was so happy. You know, my mother is a little tiny Jewish lady, so I really resonate with Alexa here. Just the current generation of tiny monsters representing my mother proud.
Okay, Chris, what are your thoughts on the match?
It was a good match. It definitely was sold very well by both Becky and Alexa. I'm very sad that Becky lost, but I understand the thought process here. I mean, it makes sense to put the title on Alexa because she has been fighting for it, and you know, this was the right match to do it in. I mean, you know, this was a match where Becky couldn't use her plethora of different moves and submissions to get the win. They had to put them in a match where it would require planning and Alexa being able to use her superior ring IQ to make that happen. And you know, to everybody who's going to get mad at me about me saying that Becky does not have a superior ring IQ, I mean, Becky, the character right now, being a true blue babyface, is not going to have superior ring IQ to a cold and calculating heel like Alexa Bliss. So there's my defense of that, even though I am a huge Becky Lynch mark. I really liked the different spots of knocking the tables out of the way and Becky using the table for the disarmer to try and you know, sap some of Alexa's strength. Really well fought match. There were a couple of spots that actually where like they knocked the tables away that looked like they were accidental, but the fact that they made it look accidental was all the more convincing to me that it was intentional. It's just really very, very well laid out match overall, and I am pleased with this, and I hope that the storyline continues to develop well because, I mean, the Go Home show, Becky obviously showed some real intensity there, referring to Alexa as that little bitch. Definitely, and the post-match interview, like Fizzy mentioned, she definitely showed a lot of intensity, and I think that she's going to come back for that rematch with even more intensity, and might even start displaying some of her heel-ish tendencies, like what she had during her heel run in NXT. We'll see. My only gripe is the little bit of character break that Alexa had on Talking Smack, where she was playing nice with Renee and Daniel Bryan, talking about her family being there and all that. But the fact that she was able to switch immediately back to her heel character, I can't even call it much of a gripe anymore because she really does have a unique ability to get right back into character without even like appearing to be putting any effort into it. That's really great work for someone so young. So props to Alexa for that one.
She's very much a Jekyll and Hyde-like character. There's that sweet, adorable real-life persona of hers, and then there's the monster that dwells within.
Yeah, it's like it's essentially the dichotomy between her two theme songs. Her original theme from NXT, Blissful, and then her current theme, Spiteful. Anybody ever gets a chance, listen to those back to back. It's disturbing in a lot of ways.
I've never done that. Now you have see. I have something to do tomorrow because I'm off work.
There you go. Make a playlist. I actually have a Spotify playlist of all WWE entrance music. So that happens sometimes. It pops up that they go back to back like that. It's just like, whoa, okay.
This match, I really liked that. A lot of the hardcore matches, they weren't spot fest. They were actually psychology driven, and I love the way they used the tables. They utilized the tables a lot in this match, the same way they would use a chair or a ladder. I really appreciated it. They came up with good. Use the table, bring it into play, remind people that this is a tables match without, usually with the men's match, there will be one spot where there's a false finish where somebody will go through a table. Like they'll be running at somebody. And I thought they were going to do that with the corner spot, and they kept stopping in front of the table, with somebody to run, somebody to move out the way. And they were like, oh, the table broke. Oh, but you got to put them through it. So they didn't do that. And I appreciated it. And Alexa Bliss is a worthy champion. So I can't be mad, even though I love Becky Lynch. And she's going to come and Bliss ass and get her title back soon.
We can only hope.
But I do think Alexa Bliss is a worthy champion, and she's been carrying her weight with the character work. She's been one of the outstanding characters, performers, and talkers on SmackDown since the split, and I feel like this is her reward. You've done a good job. You have a bright future, kid. Here you go. And this also kind of protects Becky because she wasn't pinned. She didn't submit. It was a tables match. So they're probably gonna rematch at the Royal Rumble, and I hope it's another stipulation match so they can ratchet it up a little bit more. See, I don't want the comparisons for Sasha and Charlotte to happen because I don't think it's fair with this match or with Nikki and Carmella, because first of all, Carmella is still green. She's still quite limited in her offense, her ring awareness, and all those things. Alexa Bliss is a little bit more ring aware, but she's still not used to performing at the same level. And Sasha and Charlotte have been wrestling each other over almost 200 times probably since in the past 4 years. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. I think both of those matches delivered, and I'm very proud of the SmackDown women's division. So it was very enjoyable.
Oh my goodness, that was such an enjoyable match. I love the end sequence where Alexa, like you think, oh, she's going to kick out of this one. And then Alexa just grabs her and goes, "You're going through this table." Ka-chunk!
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Charlotte-Sasha spot that Chris mentioned earlier in the show. Alexa just grabs her and goes, "You're going for the table." Ka-chunk!
Yeah. I actually don't remember if was it on the show or was it before the show?
It was before.
Yeah, so what Feezy's referring to, in the live thread, we actually the spot from Hell in a Cell where Charlotte threw Sasha into a table and the table didn't break. It kept coming up during the live thread, so I'm going to say here what I said there also. Charlotte threw Sasha horizontally onto that table. There was no way that Sasha was going to go through that table. There's no way anybody would have gone through that table because the angle was wrong. So, and I know that there was a lot of comparisons leading up to TLC of like, if Sasha couldn't go through a table, then how is Alexa going to be able to go through a table? The force was wrong. Trust me when I say. Trust me when I say Becky Lynch has the sufficient downward force capable of putting Alexa Bliss through a table if she had been able to. So if they have another tables match in the future and Alexa Bliss is involved, you better believe that Becky Lynch will be able to put her through a table if the time comes. Mm-hmm. So
I think she's more perplexed about ripping Alexa's arm off at this point.
Yeah. Physics still applies, though. That's all I'm saying.
So, any more thoughts on this before we go to the main event?
Bring on the rematch. That's all I can say.
Right. So do I.
Bring on match 3. I'm really looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go drink the tears of Becky Lynch fans while Tonya talks about our main event.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah. It was a spot fest though. And kind of distracting because I saw what AJ Styles' ass bleeding looks like.
Oh my lord. That boy, I don't know who's making his tights, but they're going to have to talk to them.
They're fired or demoted. They are not making the champs gear anymore.
And you can bet he's going to have to wear trunks underneath his tights for the foreseeable future.
Yes, absolutely. He might get a fine or something. You know, WWE is weird like that.
Yeah.
But I have several with this whole angle. Now, see, I'll make it clear. I don't like James Ellsworth personally. I don't find him entertaining. I don't see what's so great about him, but I like the story, the basic story they were telling. I liked it. I dug it. See, this is my problem when you have your WWE World Heavyweight Champion beat the shit out of a jobber, and he comes back 5 days later. He's in a full body cast. He should not be there. Sell your ass kicking, but he couldn't. Angle they want to run. Now, I can understand Ellsworth feeling some type of way about Dean Ambrose saying, well, yes, I used the situation with Ellsworth to play mind games. And I could also see him having a problem with the little jokes that Dean Ambrose has been cracking on him, saying, he's at home. He's going to let the grown-ups fight, this, that, and the other. By the way, he's on Talking Smack. Didn't address any of that. But we could all pretend that he had a problem with it. Because on Talking Smack, I don't know who this fella was. This wasn't the James Ellsworth that I've been seeing and that this company wanted me invested in. This was some asshole who somehow thinks that he beat AJ Styles on his own, and that Dean Ambrose, because he goes way back with him. Like, what the fuck? No. Dean Ambrose, the guy they call the Lunatic Fringe, is going to understand being pushed off of like a 20-foot ladder into No big deal. He's going to forgive me because I'm going to give him the first title shot when I beat AJ Styles all on my own. Because I beat him 3 times. Like, I saw this live in the flesh, and I was like, okay, so to James Ellsworth, and who is this guy? I can understand him, like, screwing Ambrose. Like, push him down, flip him off, walk off upset, and then explain, like, you used me, which I don't think he used him because James Ellsworth wouldn't have gotten one single solitary victory over AJ Styles if he weren't for Dean Ambrose. So they were using each other. It was an equal opportunity, beneficial relationship that was going on. Like, Dean already got his title match. He had already fucked with AJ enough. He did not have to come out there and help that man win the ladder match to get a contract, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
He did not have to, after AJ Styles beat the brakes off of him, he attacked AJ Styles, calling him a bastard, promised Ellsworth, I'm going to make this right. For you to turn on him or do what you did because you think you could be, like, it makes no fucking sense. None whatsoever. And nobody's going to get me to understand that this guy cost Dean Ambrose the championship because he legitimately thinks he's going to beat AJ Styles for the title. Where did he go? What did he drink? What did he smoke? Who did he talk to change in a 5-day time span? Doesn't make sense. I feel like this whole time, especially I ain't even like this dude, but the story was kind of cool. But this whole time they've been wasting my motherfucking time with this James Ellsworth story. So what do you guys have to say about this?
This needs to end now. I am so fucking done with James Ellsworth and this whole storyline. It wore out its welcome already, and I was hoping and praying that it was done after he took a Styles Clash on the floor off the stairs, and that they were going to write him off for like 2 months and be like, oh, I'm going to randomly show up for my match at Fastlane when nobody cares, because that's a time when you can get away with that because nobody cares. But no. Instead, now we have James Ellsworth, for no legitimate reason, heel turning and betraying Dean Ambrose, and then cheering as AJ Styles wins the title, and then going on to Talking Smack and being like, oh, well, I have a winning record against AJ Styles. That means I have a chance to win. You know, I get the delusional heel tendencies. I get that storyline. That is something that has been done a number of times. I've seen it. It makes sense. And it's a tried and true trope that can be quite enjoyable when you're putting someone up against a clearly superior wrestler. But this is James fucking Ellsworth, the comic relief of WWE. Why in the flying fuck are we having him suddenly being treated like he's a legitimate wrestler on the roster, when the only reason why he's here is because he said one catchphrase line before being utterly annihilated by Braun Strowman, and suddenly the internet latched onto him. We have to keep him. We have to make him a star. And now we just ruined what was otherwise a pretty enjoyable WWE World Championship match. And we ended it on a interference finish that made absolutely no sense. So I can only hope that on Tuesday, what Daniel Bryan predicted on Talking Smack happens, that AJ Styles hurts James Ellsworth, and then Dean Ambrose hurts him even more, because I don't want to see him again. You know, they put out the story. James Ellsworth gets the WWE contract. I read that story and I immediately started banging my head against my desk, because that just tells me that they are committed to writing storylines for comedic value over writing stories that have genuine suspense and intrigue and enjoyment. And no. I need a newspaper so I can whack Vince McMahon on the nose like a dog. No. Stop it. Bad Vince. Tell a real story. Damn it. You don't have to look very hard to find a real story. Look at your goddamn developmental brand. But it's just telling 4 amazing stories right now. And there's just nope. Comedy, interference. We're just going to make the people laugh and make our wrestlers look like idiots because they find it entertaining. And apparently that sells tickets. Oh, why did I ever expect it was going to be anything different? Please, just write Ellsworth off TV. Just write him off TV because I don't need this anymore. Nobody needs this.
If he starts feuding with Dean Ambrose, I'm gonna be like, okay, see.
And to talk about like differences in strength and ability, James Ellsworth is already dwarfed by AJ Styles, who is, by comparison, most WWE stars, a pretty short guy. Dean Ambrose is taller than me. I'm 6'2". Dean Ambrose is taller than me. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". He's almost Roman's height. Yeah.
Taller than Roman, right?
Yeah. James Ellsworth is going to get flattened. I blame the internet. That's all I can say. I blame the internet. Internet, this is your fault. You should be ashamed of yourselves, internet.
Busy.
I just got back from refilling my glass with water. Apparently some kind of large fire has just occurred. We had a double Tonya bomb.
Yeah.
A Tonya and Chris bomb.
Yeah. You said you wanted it to happen the last time we were on Speaks, Fizzy. Well, you got it to happen. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh, indeed I am. The resulting explosion has caused most of the Becky Lynch fans to fly off into the sky. The Dean Ambrose fans to go hide in their bunker. And AJ Styles is probably going to be ordering a new tailor soon.
Yeah.
Okay, because here's the thing about the match. The tear happened when they did a chair spot, and one of the chair legs almost impaled Styles in the leg, which would have been a scary moment there. But thanks to the tights, the impalement didn't occur. He did get a cut on his rear end, and I spent the majority of the last half of that match laughing hysterically at going, how are the people in the camera booth going to go, oh, Jesus, his pants split open. How in the world are we going to cover this match? Because they were doing like, quick, cut away.
I got to give them credit. They did a fairly good job. They did a fairly good job of keeping it off, keeping the full moon off the screen. So...
So I spent most of the match laughing hysterically, although the enjoyment was AJ Styles got Dean Ambrose to sell. That's the thing that's not going to be talked about in this match, is that AJ Styles got him to actually sell.
Well, the match is not going to be talked about at all because we're going to be talking about Jimmy Two Hands.
Yeah.
All of a sudden becoming the most delusional heel in the world.
I mean, the only thing that I can actually say about the match itself is that Dean Ambrose has been the person in the company to take the most suplexes onto a ladder in the past 2 years of anybody in the company. So, yeah, but AJ, that's all I can say about it, though.
AJ with the bumps, though. He's crazy. He is psycho. He's out of his mind. He's almost 40. Like, is he trying to if I can't wrestle, I gotta retire. Like, calm down. You ain't gotta take all the bumps, all of them. Seriously.
That's one of his TNA tendencies that he retained from working at his old company. I gotta jump into the most treacherous of spots ever, and
Yeah.
Well,
That slam onto the chair pile. Wow. Wow.
Right. I was like one wrong move, and it would like.
Every back problem he's had in his history would have come back up in an instant.
Right, and after that he did like, was it like a 450 splash? Like he springboarded, then did a 450 onto Dean onto a table.
Yep, springboard 450 onto a table, which I love seeing him hit that springboard 450. So that was great.
It was gorgeous, but I'm just like, oh my God, AJ, are you trying to kill yourself?
Please don't die. Please don't die.
Right?
I mean, you told me how to say that for Sasha, but you know.
Dean's elbow drop onto the tables was a cool spot too.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Yes.
Yes, that was. Like, I was worried for both of them after that because Dean's crazy, and it's crazy to me how he has not been injured at all since being on the main roster because he takes some crazy bumps too.
Yeah.
Well, AJ almost broke his nose in this match. Early on in the match, Dean's nose was bleeding from a kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. AJ kind of snug with them stripes.
Well, he's trying to get that boy to sail. Sail, you idiot!
Yeah.
It was an enjoyable match. The right result, but they got about it. Like, they didn't have to. I don't feel like it was necessary to involve James Ellsworth. Seriously. They could have just had AJ Styles beat him decisively.
Oh my God. Ellsworth tweeted an hour ago, and I quote, "Just strategy, everyone. I've defeated AJ Styles 3 times, so this Tuesday on SmackDown Live, I can do it and win the WWE World Championship. Pardon me while I go scream out the window."
See, so everybody's little theory that he was upset with Dean, you're wrong. It's just strategy. Because he's all of a sudden, he has gone, like, and I know he looked Dean Ambrose in the face and said, I wouldn't have any of this without you. I'm so grateful to you, Dean. But his strategy is to damn near kill the guy who's helped him.
Yeah.
And not have this dude on his side for the championship match. Like, why would it?
This is a guy who rode with him in an ambulance after he got the absolute tar beat out of him by AJ Styles, and then came back to the arena to enact vengeance upon AJ Styles for said tar beating, and he repays him by shoving him off a ladder so that his opponent can win to help himself.
Right.
That is stupid.
When all of a sudden he's delusional, when in the past he has said, I'm realistic. I know if I go out there, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I know I might not win. But now all of a sudden he's delusional.
Exactly.
He's got a big money contract with SmackDown now. It's sort of the reversal of what happened to Heath Slater. Heath Slater was originally a villain who became a good person because he got a SmackDown contract and tag team championships.
And because he has kids.
And because he's got kids. James Ellsworth gets a contract from SmackDown, and it's like this little demon inside those papers just went inside of him and corrupted him.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's going to be joining the Wyatt family. He hears voices in his head.
Lord, please keep him away from the Wyatt family.
Please keep him away from television.
Well, that's not going to happen. This is not going to end anytime soon. He's not going to win the title, but he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. And trust and believe, when he eliminates somebody that the internet loves, maybe then people will turn on him.
We can only hope.
This is
okay. This was gonna happen in the Royal Rumble. Let me have this 1 second. Finn Balor shows up miraculously, and he enters the Royal Rumble, and James Ellsworth eliminates him. Yes. I'm gonna be so happy.
Oh
Like, this
my
is what you get. This is what you get.
I think
Bam.
the internet would legitimately explode if that happened.
Good. And I also am of the opinion that if this whole storyline had happened, because people were shitting on Cesaro and Sheamus, which is one of the few, probably like the only decent story they're really telling right now on Raw. People were so quick. Oh, he did all this and now he made them partners. But okay, you guys enjoyed that brawl. They're getting on the same page. They might become tag team champions. They had a whole story out of that. Okay, you have James Ellsworth. If this whole story was on Raw, and this shit happened on a Raw pay-per-view, I am certain it would have not get the same benefit of the doubt. And I don't think that's fair. And when people say, like, I was not one of those people that was saying, well, you know, everybody's biased against SmackDown. But you know what? I'm kind of seeing that there is a SmackDown bias with certain angles and stories. And it's not fair because this don't make no sense to me. He'd have completely changed overnight.
Yeah, no, like you were saying on the before the show started, Tanya. It's like if this had been an angle on Raw, people would have been shitting on it immediately. But because it's on SmackDown, they're saying give it a chance. I'm done giving James Ellsworth angles a chance. Like I said, I hope that AJ hurts him and that Dean hurts him more, and that wherever they go with this, Dean continues to hurt him because it's worn out its welcome. It deserves to go away now.
I just had a thought, guys, while you two were busy burning Ellsworth at the stake. What if Shane McMahon is the reason why Ellsworth became corrupted?
I don't know. I don't think they'll go that route.
Because Shane has had issues with Dean Ambrose recently. And they've been hinting at that.
Yeah, but I mean, with the
Ellsworth says his strategy, like that ruins every other excuse or reason you can give. He just explained himself. You don't have to wait till Tuesday. He just said what he was doing. He's a delusional asshole.
And as you said, he is delusional. So
I mean, I don't think that they would do that because with the way that it was going on Talking Smack with Daniel Bryan being angry at Ellsworth. I think that having Shane be the reason that Ellsworth went off the reservation like this, introducing tension between DB and Shane is the last thing that they need right now because then they're just replicating storylines from Raw, and we don't need to have authority figures fighting with each other on both shows. I get more than enough of that between Stephanie and Mick Foley. We don't need it on SmackDown too.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Between Stephanie and Evil Santa, I have to use your correct. I have to use your correct terminology, Fizzy. I'm sorry.
He's the herald of Santa, much like like the Silver Surfer was to Galactus.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to say about this? Because we got to wrap it up, people.
I thought the match was enjoyable. I spent most of it laughing hysterically.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good match, but that ending. This is the new Hell in a Cell main event. It's going to be good match, dominated completely by the ending, and that's all that people are going to talk about.
And the hole in AJ Styles' pants.
That too, yeah, that too.
Good match, stank ass ending. Well. My grade for the show is Ellsworth ruins everything. I was on my way to giving this show a freaking A+. I was thoroughly enjoying it. Everything. And I do not want to knock the show down, but I have to a B+. Because I don't think James Ellsworth should have even been there. He should have been getting stretchered out. What do you guys grade this show?
I'll let you go first on this one, Chris.
I'm going to give it a B. And considering that this was a show where heels went 5-1, that's saying something because I mean that means that they told some really good stories, and with the exception of the ending to the main event, I think that all the stories that were told on this show were very well executed and very well done. So as much as I am disappointed by the fact that every champion on SmackDown right now is a heel, I'll give this show a B and say, hopefully they can keep a good momentum going because they've got a long way to go until their next brand exclusive pay-per-view.
Well, I'm gonna give this show an A+. Because honestly, I enjoyed the tag match. I enjoyed the no DQ match. I enjoyed every match on this card. Even the Spot Fest match with Dean and AJ didn't ruin anything for me. And also, Pixie Hulk champion. Just really, really happy about that. And didn't think it was going to happen on this show, but it did. And I'm just like, so happy about that and happy about how the show went. Miz retained. The main event wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm really indifferent about the whole James Ellsworth thing. It doesn't really affect my grade in any way. I just think that, okay, this guy's going to get beaten up some more, and Tanya and Andrew and Chris are going to rage about it more the more that he gets shown up on camera. And this was a really, really good show.
No, actually, I'm just going to say about that. It's going to be to the point now of changing the channel when he comes on.
Oh, dear. It's gotten that bad.
Yep.
I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this was a really fun show, and I like the tag match was fantastic. I like the fact that the Wyatt family is now champions. Nikki beat Carmella, the bootleg. Carmella can now go over to Raw and beat some sense of Enzo Amore. And seriously, she's the muscle of that trio, and she's the only one who's beaten any sense into that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this has been a fun show. I've enjoyed having you both here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you guys listening to keep in mind that Andrew M. Swift is doing the review of the show tonight. It should be going on the site about 20 minutes or so. And don't forget, every Wednesday, Andrew and I, we do Wednesday night shooting, 9 p.m. Eastern. And after every SmackDown brand pay-per-view and joint split pay-per-view, I do a live after show with Fizzy and a special guest. I want to thank Chris for showing up. Thank you very much. My fellow Roman Reigns fan.
Thank you for the invite, and God in heaven help us and our emperor for when he wins at Roadblock end of the line and becomes the Universal Champion.
He's going to be the United Universal Champion. Don't forget that.
And I will be enjoying all of your smart tears.
Oh, I'm going to drink it up. I'm going to drink it in, man.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Fizzy. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.